influence. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then, okay, let's see. Okay.
We are live.
Okay.
So I'm going to give everyone a chance to share. We would like you to be engaged in this conversation. So starting off with sharing this event as well as making your comments, because if we have time, we'll have questions and answers at the end. So, okay. So
Okay,
I hear,
to my page.
yeah. So I hear some feedback, but I'm gonna close
Okay, that's
mine
mine.
out.
Yeah, that was
At
me. I'm closed it. Okay.
okay. I'm gonna share it first, but so while we're going through our technical hiccups, we're going to share. Give you time to share. Give you 2 minutes to share, and we will get started.
Shared it on mine.
Okay.
On my end. Let me okay. Oh, there I am right there. Okay. Let me okay. Oh, there I am right there. Okay. Let me okay.
All righty. Awesome. Well, happy Friday to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am super excited, not only because it's Women's History Month, and we're celebrating all month long. The month of March is known for Women's History Month, and we will have so many other things that are going on. But tonight, we are having a conversation with Cynthia Johnson, and she is doing some phenomenal things here in Charlotte. So I just had to have her as our kickoff speaker, and she will go more into some of the things that she has going on. But just let me give you a little background of who I am and what I do. For those of you that don't know, and those of you that do know, my name is Adrina Clark. I am the founder of A Lady of Influence. We are a nonprofit organization based in Charlotte, North Carolina, but we are worldwide. We have exposure through social media and some other avenues to hit some global partners as well. But we are a nonprofit organization, and we are high achieving ladies who are serving aspiring and emerging leaders to become that lady that wants to impact her community. And tonight we're focusing on our Seven Mountain influencer, Cynthia Johnson, who is impacting her community in the area of education. Not only education, but she's a businesswoman as well. So just to give you a little background, and she'll go a little further, she is a CEO and founder of the nonprofit. I definitely do not want to mispronounce her name because she is very, very, very important. Is it Murtis?
Murtis, yes.
Okay, right. Okay. Murtis Simpson Walker Foundation. And you have a young entrepreneur leadership program.
Correct, yes.
Okay. So you are touching the younger generation, which is the foundation of who we are, because what we learn as young people, once it's stick and that seed is sown into our lives, we can only matriculate and to become better leaders as adults. So I felt like you can hit that foundation to where we want to go as the older generation. And some of the things that had we learned at an early age, we would really be making a major impact now had we had you in our lives as younger ladies. So I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself. who you are and what you do as an educator and a businesswoman.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. And thank you for having me, Adrina, a lady of influence. This is awesome. And thank you so much. But the Murta Simpson Walker Youth Leadership Foundation Incorporated, it was named in memory of my grandmother, Murta Simpson Walker, who was an educator in Pensacola, Florida. She was a physical education teacher. And also she was the first teacher to integrate the schools in Pensacola, Florida. And of course, growing up, me and my cousins, of course, we always knew her as grandma. She was just very active, physically active as well, but also community service oriented. As far as she played basketball, she was into tennis. I can remember she built us a tree house in the backyard growing up. She put up a basketball goal. This was all at her house. And then she always took us on these outings, museums, the mall. We traveled together out of town. So she was just a big influence because we were always with grandma. We hung out with grandma during the summers, when our parents had to work. She just exposed us to so much, of course, along with, our parents. And so when she passed at 92 years old, I want to continue her memory and what she stood for, which is education and community service. She was always volunteering us, the grandkids, putting us into any kind of community service that was in the city, whether it was Habitat for Humanity, the library, church activities. She was always there. So as you can see, I speak highly of her, and she was just very important. And I thank God that I had her and I had that influence. And so I guess you can say I followed in her footsteps into the education along with my aunt, who also was an educator. She's a speech pathologist in the school system. So we continue to educate students, and I decided to go into the school system as a school counselor, which I'm currently a school counselor in elementary, but I worked as a middle school counselor as well. And so working in the school system, you see, I guess you meet different children, different people from all walks of life. You want to help everybody. You do your best to help everyone, but of course, there are going to be challenges, and we see that families have different challenges. And so, while I was working in the middle school with Charlotte Meck Schools, I noticed that, and I always worked with girls, and so I decided to start a boys program at the middle school. It was called, my first boys program was called A Leader in Me. And so it was myself and another educator at the middle school. We organized the group. It was maybe about 10 young men in the program. They were out in 7th grade and 8th grade. And so once a week, the young men would dress up in their suits, and they felt so proud and just so, felt just distinguished and felt good about themselves and felt good that they were a part of something. We had men in the community that come in and work with the young men on social skills, etiquette, relationships with themselves, relationships with women, Black history, you name it, we had it. And I remember couple of important gentlemen that came. We had the mayor at the time, our mayor pro tem. We had the chief of police, Reggie Singleton, who is a big community supporter. He also has his own program in the community as well. So I felt that it was important that the young men at my school and also in the community work with other young men. We needed to have I started the program because I felt that there was not enough support for the young men. And this was probably about 10 plus years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I, moved forward in education, I went to the elementary school and continued my boys program there. And so then I felt that I could do more by starting a nonprofit. So I included the boys program, which is now called the Rising Stars Boys Program, under my nonprofit. My nonprofit, like I mentioned, is called the Murta Simpson Walker Youth Leadership Foundation. And so also under that nonprofit I have an entrepreneurship program. It's the MSW Entrepreneurs. And now that program is for girls and boys. And our mission is to really encourage our youth to become entrepreneurs and leaders so that one day they will encourage others to become leaders and to continue to give back. And so, knowing that I can do more in the community, and I see some of the challenges that our local school system has gone through, the ups and downs and especially mental health. About 5 years ago, after some prayer, because of course God comes first, and I feel like he has to direct my path every step of the way. He said, you need to start your school. I was like, okay, you sure about that? And no doubt it is a challenge. It is definitely a challenge starting a charter school. And so my focus for the charter school is all boys. It will be called the Murta Simpson Walker Academy for Boys, it's coming very soon. And so, of course, there have been some challenges. And I would say, and I'm sure anyone can attest to this or can even speak to this, when you have a board, especially a school board or any nonprofit board, you want to make sure you have the right people. Most definitely. You want to make sure that they support your vision, they support your mission. And it has to be a working board. You can't just say that, you're going to do it, but then you don't. And so, like I tell my current board members or anybody that is listening, that it's not about me. This, my nonprofit, the leadership program that I have, and the boys program, in the boys school that will be starting soon in a matter of a couple of years, it's about giving back to the community. Mm-hmm. It's about seeing something different and helping our young men be the leaders that we know that they can be, and giving them something different that we may not see currently in our local schools. Mm-hmm. One thing that I have often shared and I feel passionate about is that I say that schools are like our communities, depending on where you live. Like the school that I'm currently living in, a number of our students live in the community, in the surrounding community. And so I look at schools that LeBron James has in Ohio, that school is also Title I, the demographics is Black and Hispanic, and the school is doing very well. And one thing I noticed that they are doing, the money that they receive and everything that they're doing is going back into the community, whether it's programs for parents, GED programs and resources for children, which I think that sometimes I believe that certain funds may be allocated differently. But if we really focus on solutions, on what we can do to help our students as well as our families and build our families up, then we will see a big difference in our schools, especially when it comes to mental health. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, and it's not easy. Trust me, I've been in education for 20 years now. But if we even give them those nuggets, start small and continually build up. Even if we help 2 families, 3 families, we've done a great job. And so prayerfully, with a lot of prayer, and if we continue to work hard and we continue to put the emphasis and continue to put our focus on the children and families, they will progress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe so as well. And you dropped a couple of, I was writing them down so that, because I didn't even know about it. So I just wanted to make sure that I wrote it down to come back up. But would you go back to your grandmother? Would you consider her to be your lady of influence?
Yeah, I would consider my grandmother to be that lady, to be the lady of influence. Just because, she was so community service oriented, and she was positive, and she was, when it came to education and community service, that was her focus. And also to be the very best person that you can be, to be your best self. And that's one thing that I want to instill and do my best to instill in my students every day. No matter how hard I am, on them, I want them to be their best self every day. I don't care how old you are, just be your best self and live out your dreams, because if there will be challenges. And people often ask, like, how do you do the things that you do? And I'm like, I just do it. I don't ask anyone's permission. If I feel like it needs to be done, if I feel like things need to be changed, then I'll do my best to do it. Nothing's going to stop me. I just have that kind of determination. I mean, right. we all have flaws or things that we need to work on. But when I'm, really determined about something, I'm going after it and I'm going for it. I'm not saying that I don't consider myself an extrovert, but if I feel like there needs to be something, or I feel like a child needs something, or we need to organize a program, or we need to bring in resources, and I feel passionate about it, I'm going to do it. I'm not asking permission to do it. I'm just doing it, especially if it needs to be done. Because I feel like, especially with children and even with people, I mean, if you have a need, then if you want to do something, do it. Nothing's stopping you. And I guess you could say it's easier said than done. I guess not for me, because I just do it. And now I'm like, okay, God, you just got to lead and direct me the right way. Show me what you need me to do. And that's very important too. Before you do it, even though it may sound good, you have to ask God, okay, do I need to do this? Right. Is that the right decision? Because granted, I've had some flops, and
me too.
Yeah, exactly. I've had some flops, I've fallen on my face, people have disagreed with some of the things that I've done, or they felt like I could have done it this way, differently. But that's all a part of life's lessons. Right. I fall, people say certain things to me that, that are hurtful. And I wonder to myself, how in the world do I keep getting up over and over again? And see, that's the key. Honestly, some of the things that I have, challenges that I have gone through, whether it's at work or, in personal, I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. The feeling of, just think the feeling of going to work every day and you feel like, what's going to be said to you today, and so you just have to, honestly, you have to have a relationship with God, and then you have to have a good circle around. You have to have the right people around you too. And that's an obstacle, but once you once you continue to build that relationship with God, and and you have the right relationships around you, the right people, the right friends, you will soar. It's like you have this, I don't know, like a superwoman shield, or what have
it's
you.
the tenacity within.
Resilience. Yeah. You just keep on. And I'm like, dang, this happened, Cynthia, yesterday. How in the world you get up and you still keep going, and going? Quite a few people know that I'm starting an all boys school. And so in December, my board went to, we went to Raleigh to do the interview. But unfortunately, during, that time, we didn't move forward with the school. They decided we need to come back. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it. I know God, that's something that God told me to do. It's like, we're doing it. And so during that time, a number of things that came out that day. And, and I've been praying. I say, God, remove anybody that is not for me, that's not for the school. Please remove them, remove it, what have you. And sometimes, God is going to answer your prayers. Right. And sometimes he'll do it at the most inopportune times, the most, the time is not right. And so, and you know what, during that time, and he did, it was disappointing, because one thing God will show you is like, you don't put your trust in people, you have to put your trust in him. And that's even though you hear that often, but now it's like, okay, he showed me. Right. He really showed me. You have to really, And so but that's an obstacle, and that's a challenge, and that's something that that you have to, sometimes you have to go through those things in order to make you stronger. And I can remember when I was first starting counseling, I remember a co-counselor of mine said that, people are extensions of their childhoods. And it's like everything that you do in your life, it prepares you for your purpose. I truly believe that. I mean, if you just look back on, women who are doing their thing, and, if it's business or whatever it may be, whatever your passion is, everything prepares you, everything. And they're going to be challenges. I mean, I just look back at my childhood, everything prepares you. Everything is mapped out, and you're like, dang, if I knew all of that was going to happen, would I even
would you have started, and will you continue?
Exactly. Because some things are hurtful. I mean, some challenges and obstacles people that come across, that it can be hurtful. And I know one thing is that now it's like as you mature in age, as I say, you become very aware and very aware of who you are. Especially the pandemic, it really helped me to zone in on myself and things that, I needed to change, or sometimes I just kept going and going and going. And then, and I just said, okay, you just got to keep going. You got to just keep doing it, and just keep doing it, and just keeping a positive attitude over everything. Everything happens for, a reason. And sometimes you don't know that reason why until later.
Yeah, you don't know. And I think that's one of the reasons why when you go through a challenge or you experience something that is life altering, it develops your purpose, and then God gives you a vision, right? So he gives you the vision after the testimony is being developed, and you can say, I see now, but God has a greater picture, but he can't show you everything at once. So if he showed you everything at once, then we would, in our human flesh, be like, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing that. Oh no. I'm not doing that.
So to that lady that's out there who's wondering, should she step forward or should she wait on that next big sign?
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep going. You have to build up that tenacity, as you were saying, that resilience that's within, to know that what God showed you when he told you to do this, you got to keep going, because you don't know those chapters in the middle of the book, but he's already showed you the end of the book. It's going to be great and rewarding for you and other people.
Exactly. Because if I would have known everything that I have, that my challenges and obstacles that I went through, I doubt it. I doubt it if I would, because it was, there's a lot of challenges, and some people in the natural would stop, I give up or become frustrated, but you can't do it. You can't do it. I'm talking to all the women, people who are listening. You can't stop. You got to keep going. They're going to be challenges.
It goes to my next question for you is, what is your why? Because if you give up, then those boys and those young girls and boys in your leadership program, who would they have if you give up?
Exactly.
What is your why?
My why, gosh, I feel like I asked that question a long time ago too. My why is the enjoyment of seeing people live their purpose. That's my why, because I'm doing it, and my grandmother, my family has instilled in me. They did it. They showed me, because they made me do it. It's like my mother was like, if you start something, you better finish it. That always stuck with me. And so I tell my students and I tell people, look, if you start it, you need to finish it. You can't give up. Even if you don't like it, you got to keep going. You got to keep going and pushing through, because you never know. Try different things. So you just have to continue to push through. I mean, granted, we can't make anybody do anything, but don't stop. If it's something that you know that you want to do it. We're living a very long and full and joyful and beautiful life, and it is up to you to get up every day and live that long and beautiful life and do the things that you want to do.
Right.
And to live your gift, find out what your purpose is. That means you have to pray, and you have to get up every day and live it. Meditate, whatever it is, whatever you need to do in order to do that. And then also surround yourself with the right people. That is very important. If you need to be by yourself, do it. And I know one thing, what myself and me and Adrina were about, that sometimes you can be better by yourself. Sometimes I think I'm better by myself when I, going different places or going to networking events, because you feel like you can just, for me, I feel like I can be free just to shoot. If I fall, oh well, if I make a mistake, oh well, but I'm free to meet people, talk to people, just be my truthful, authentic self. And it's okay.
It's okay. You don't have to have a crowd around you all the time.
Exactly. You don't have to have a lot of people, around you, around you all the time. Sometimes,
because too many voices can actually compromise your next step or the next instruction that you're supposed to do, because you have all these voices and you're confusing that on who said it, whether it was you, your friends, or God. So
too
exactly.
Many voices
can compromise.
And you're exactly right, Adrina. Yeah, too many voices can be a distraction. And sometimes you just need to be by yourself, so you can hear from God, and you can be led. And you don't have to, sometimes it's best just to flow, to be by yourself at times. Don't be afraid to. I know some people are afraid, well, let me see if so-and-so wants to do it with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that business is for you only. It's not for you and so and so.
And when you're
That
carrying a
business is
big
for you.
vision, it's for you. God spoke to you. He didn't speak to everybody else.
Exactly. No one's perfect. And one thing I know I always tell my students is like, you know, the right people come along to help you. And that's one thing you have to be patient about. You have to be patient, especially, you know, if it's a huge vision, you have to be patient. So you can meet the right people. The right people will come to you. Right. You have to pray on that. You got to meditate on it. You got to tithe and pray, you know, all of the above. But you have to, trust me, the right people will come to you. If certain people fall off or they don't feel like they need to be in your space anymore, then let them go. You don't need to beg anybody. And that's one thing. You don't need to beg anybody to help you. You don't need to beg anybody to be supportive of you. You don't have to do any of that. That's no. You don't have to. I'm telling you, the right people will come to you. They will be there for you. They will help you win. Trust me. They will help you win. If something
and there's a season for that.
Exactly.
It's a season. I believe that even growing and building a lady of influence, everything does not come overnight, and you have to till the ground and make sure your foundation is sturdy before even trying to bring in a lot of people, because again, you have too many voices, too many people. You don't want to hit a plateau where you don't even know which way to go or move any further because you have so many people trying to dump inside of you. So there's a season for that too, right?
Exactly. And since you spoke season, and sometimes, you know, there are people that will be there to help you, and you have to also be okay with this, that there will be people in your life that will come to help you, but then there'll be their season will be up, and it'll be time for them to move on, you know. But and it might be painful, but you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I know that's another challenge. You know, people come and go. I know the past probably couple of years, it's been challenging, it's been hurtful, but people that have been, you know, possibly friends of mine for so many years, people I've known, you know, they've dropped off. They couldn't go with me, you know, so their season is up. So sometimes you just have to, you know, you have to let those people go. But then, you know, you have those lifelong friends, they're the roots. Those roots are going to always be there. And I have that. You may not have many. It may be one, it may be two. Those people who've been there through thick and thin, those roots. And they're there no matter what, your ups and your downs, your highs and your lows. You'll have that one or two people. But you'll be okay. You'll laugh about it. And then when you have accomplished, you know, your goal, and you see your mission and your vision and come to fruition, you're gonna be like, "Whew, I made it."
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna feel good.
And at that point, there's another vision that God will give you to even add on to that. So
exactly, yeah, you'll have more. Yeah, because I've had many visions. Because honestly, when I first moved to Charlotte, I started out doing fashion shows. I was in a fashion show every year, and I'm not saying that they were like successful. They were fun. You know, I love clothes. Everybody loves looking good, and so it was just. They were fun, expensive, and you know, but one thing it taught me, it got me out to a chance to meet different people, networking. It prepared me. Like I said earlier, everything from your childhood all the way up until now will prepare you for your purpose and your vision. It will help you. So, you know, if some of us did not have a great home life or maybe personal life may not have started off great, and maybe a year or so ago, things are not great. Family life, financials, whatever it may be, everything that is going on, that is happening, is preparing you for something greater. You just have to keep pushing through, no matter what. You just have to keep doing it. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say the biggest obstacle for me is knowing that you got to let go of people. You know, that has been, I mean, friendship is me, very important to me. And realizing that is like, as you mature in age and mature in being the best person that you know that you can be, you want to make sure that you are a good friend. Friendship, and I keep saying, it's very important. Loyalty is important. Treating people with respect, very important. And so that's one of the biggest obstacles, because just like you sometimes you look up to people and you think, oh, this person's this, and this, and then, something happened, they kind of let you down. They disappoint you, because some people can't handle your success. They can't handle your vision. Sometimes some people can't handle your vision, because you have a huge, you may have a huge vision. They sometimes they can't handle, what God has for you, in a way. And then, but you just have to continue. You have to pray for those people that they find peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you feel that you are making a long-lasting impact with your foundation? And is it creating a legacy to continue even after you're gone, just like your grandmother?
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's one thing. What I'm doing, it will definitely continue to, live on after me, as my legacy. I graduated from Bethune-Cookman University, and I remember I did all of my, growing up, I did all of like my projects on positive African-American people. And Mary McLeod Bethune, of course, was one. And she, of course, started Bethune-Cookman University. Wow, reading her story, it was amazing. So it was never my idea, honestly, never, to start a school. It had never been on my agenda growing up, even starting to work in the school system as a counselor, never. But God said, look, this is what you need to do. And so I just felt, okay, I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. Okay, God, you gotta bring the right people to help me with this huge vision. And I'm so grateful and thankful, having the right people around me, the right people right now to do that and to help me, because we're doing it. And so the school my vision for this school, the MSW Academy for Boys, is, as those young men mature in age, that they will continue to work in the community. They will continue to be leaders in the community. They will continue to mostly be awesome husbands and fathers. And that's another reason why I started the boys program, which is leading now to this all boys school, is I think our young men now, and when I started 10 plus years ago, I think they need more guidance.
Yeah.
They need more guidance. And I'm not knocking our boys. I love our boys. I love Black men. My father, oh my gosh, my father to me is like the epitome of what a man should be. He showed me how a man should treat, a woman. He showed me, just listening, to his stories and how he grew up and how he treated my mother. I said, well, dang, I want, and to be, have that. I want them to have that opportunity, like, how my father is. And so, and then of course, that's why I pulled in different men in the community that I know who are awesome in the community. They are very influential and they were willing, of course, to come in and to work with me on this vision. So I'm thankful, and that the ideas that we have. So the school is focusing on music, entrepreneurship, and character education. Now, Hope K-12, that's the character education program that we're focusing on. That was written by Dr. Christina Christian. Now, North Carolina does not have a character education curriculum. We talk about character, and I'm sure you see the character education words on the marquees, but there's no curriculum. And there's certain things, of course, that we do in the school system, of course, caring schools and with social emotional learning, we do, but there's no character education curriculum. So one thing that with this character education curriculum, it involves everyone. It holds everyone accountable, the parent, the teacher, and especially the child. It's not just the teacher and the student doing their thing at school. The parent is also involved. And so we wanted to also include the music piece and the entrepreneurship piece. And then we're starting from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And so those 12th graders will write a business plan. That will be their senior project. So of course, music and entrepreneurship will be, they'll be taught that. We'll have a band, jazz band, a marching band, entrepreneurship program. Also, financial literacy is a big piece. I've asked a number of men, especially in the financial world, you're gonna have financial literacy, right? It's like, yes. And so we also want to get our children involved in investing. And so that's one thing. I'm like, dang, I wish when I was younger, we had investing in school, which we didn't. We didn't have that in school. So we want to prepare our young. We want them to be forward thinkers, abstract thinkers, as well as young men who are ready for the future and beyond.
Yeah, that's amazing, Cynthia. That really is. I mean, it just the combination of those three, because we know music fills the soul and opens up so many different emotions. All different types of music and different cultures. And then the character is, once we are exposed or mentored and guided by those who are within good character themselves, you feel accomplished. You feel like a greater person. You feel like you have something to bring to the table when your character, so that is awesome. And I would definitely keep you lifted up in prayer, keep the organization lifted up in prayer, and the team and the people that, God brings to you, because this has to come to pass. And just like Mary McLeod, I was accepted to Bethune Cookman. I didn't go. But I felt like Florida was too far for me, and I was scared, so I went to Fayetteville State. But
that's all right.
But I still feel like, even I went to Washington D.C. To make a long story short, I went to Washington D.C. and she has a statue. I know she has other statues too, but she has a statue in D.C. And it just brings so much of a warmth of who she is and what she did, because she accomplished that. I think it was in 1928 or something like that. Well, something around that time, that she accomplished something so huge by herself. And one image that I saw, it was a trail of little black girls right behind her.
She started with the little girls are selling sweet potato pies, and I think the pies were $1.50, and also I wanted to make note that she and my grandmother have the same birthday, July 10th. And I was like, oh wow.
That's my dad's birthday too. My dad's birthday.
Hey, yeah. See, all right, those July babies. Yeah. So Mary McLeod Bethune she was strong, and she had influence during that time. Of course, Black people were not treated the best.
Yeah.
And she had influence with Rockefeller. She got money from Rockefeller. She was on the Black Cabinet with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. She was good friends with Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah, and I mean, Eleanor Roosevelt stayed at Mary McLeod Bethune's house, which is the house is located, of course, on campus, on our campus. And so she was a powerful woman.
Yeah. Between her and Dorothy Hyatt.
Dorothy Hyatt. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
They were powerful ladies who created legacies that we can walk in their footsteps on becoming those influential ladies, because they made those strides during some hard and critical times, but they kept on going. And to meet with leadership, they met with, the presidents and demanded change.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So you would do the same thing, and I know your school will come to pass, and those boys will say, I know it's in the name of your grandmother, but they will say, our founder, Cynthia Johnson, was the one to change our lives.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm praying.
Yes, it will happen. It will happen.
Yes, it is.
So as we wrap up, I want to give you a chance to have some final words to encourage the ladies, or even if there are men that are listening tonight. A Lady of Influence, our mission is to overcome challenges, inspire others, and lead in our area of influence, which is a Seven Mountain influencer. And Seven Mountain influencers in the area of business, faith, family, media, arts, entertainment. So what will you say? What will be your encouraging words to those that are listening on how to overcome and inspire them to lead?
Granted, we're all scared and we're all fearful because we're afraid of what, some of us are afraid of what others will think, what will happen if we don't make it. But you know what if you do? What if you do make it? What if you do accomplish that goal? So I would say, if there's something that you want to do, don't be afraid to do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Surround yourself with people who are going to support you in your mission and your vision, and focus on that. Even if it's just one person, focus on that. Even if it's somebody, if you want to, if you need to, call me or drop a message to me on Facebook or on Instagram, you can certainly do that. Say, I need some words of encouragement. I want to do this. And I don't mind talking to anyone. I love pushing people and motivating people to be their best self. Just awesome. Do it. But my Facebook is, I have my personal is Cynthia Johnson, and then the one for the Facebook page for my nonprofit is MSW Youth Leadership Foundation Incorporated. And then my Facebook page for my boys program is MSW Academy for Boys. And then our website is www.mswacademync.org or www.mswyouthleadership.org. My email is mswyouthleadership@gmail.com.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I'll make sure that I put your information inside the comments so that if someone couldn't catch that or write it down as quickly as you said it, then I'll make sure that they have it. Even for the replay when people,
Okay, good. Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. Well, this concludes our conversation on tonight. Cynthia, thank you so much for your willingness to serve a Lady of Influence. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and sharing how you have overcome your challenges and continuing to lead even when it gets hard. So I greatly appreciate you taking the time on a Friday night to be with us.
I enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Lady of Influence.
So I'll definitely be back in contact with you. You never know. We may have to have Cynthia on again, maybe for a strategy session onto helping with, forming a school or a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, most definitely. I guess, after all the challenges, you become an expert.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so with that being said, those that are still on, please continue to support A Lady of Influence. If you have not, please like our page, A Lady of Influence, because we will have more opportunities and more conversations coming in the near future, as well as our Instagram page, Twitter page, and LinkedIn. We're going to become more consistent. Social media is just a job within itself, but we will become more consistent. But follow us on our social media platforms at A Lady of Influence, as well as, I forgot to say, if you want to sow into Cynthia Johnson's movement, the MSW program or nonprofit, Cynthia, give us your ways of donation, whether that's Cash App or PayPal. Let us know how we can sow into you.
Okay, well, I have Cash App. Cash App is, of course, $Boys School, BOYS, and then capital SCHOOL. I do also have PayPal. My PayPal is under MSW Youth Leadership at gmail.com. And also on my website, I do have a link on my website. It's actually linked to my PayPal, which is my business PayPal.
Okay. Because you just never know. People are looking for ways to give, and I do not want to close out without offering that opportunity.
Thank you.
Because whether it's in your circle, not you, Cynthia, but those that are listening, whether it's in your circle or not, there is money out there. And we want to make sure that we are open to receive it wherever it comes from, north, south, east, or west, wherever it comes from, we can receive it.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So with that being said, A Lady of Influence, we will be launching our coaching program called Becoming Her. It's a coaching series with A Lady of Influence 6 weeks program. Because sometimes you may feel like, what are my steps? How do I become that lady who is influential in my community? What steps do I need to take? Whether you are an aspiring leading lady, an emerging leading lady, or you have mastered the skills and you just want to be in a network with other ladies to continue to be poured into, we will be launching our coaching program April 4th of 2022, which is next month. So if you want more information, please DM me or contact me through the website www.aladyofInfluence.com, and I can definitely get you all the information for that. So with that being said, I am grateful for you tuning in, taking the time to join us on tonight. I hope that you walk away with something. I hope that you have been inspired. Hope that you have felt encouraged and motivated enough to continue on, even when it gets challenging and times may feel like that, you want to stop and you want to quit. There is a greater side on the other end of this. God did not give you the vision just for you to sit on it. He wants you to complete it, because other people's lives are affected by your decision. So be encouraged and stay tuned. We have much more coming in the weeks to come. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Y'all have a great night. Bye.
Bye.